Briscoe and Eves back with you on SportsCenter. Sometimes we're like, oh, act like you've been there before, but for the Browns, no. Enjoy every minute of this. Their third playoff appearance since returning to the NFL more than 20 years ago. The Browns won 4 of their last 5 games with that man as their quarterback. Here's Jake Trotter with the defensive star.
Myles, what did you think of this crowd tonight?
Absolutely electric. I mean, from the coin toss to the very end, the crowd was completely in it. I didn't see a single fan leave. They wanted to be here for this moment where we got into the playoffs, and now it's time to make our voices heard.
You've got a birthday coming tomorrow. What kind of birthday present is it, knowing that you are officially going to be in the postseason?
I mean, it's wonderful. It's something I don't take for granted. Something we all don't take for granted. And now we're here. We got to make the most out of it. We got to play like we'll never be here again. Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'm just so proud of this team, how hard we've worked and overcome such adversity. And it's a hell of a birthday present just to win with this group of men, man.
That's 4 wins in a row. How dangerous could this team be in the AFC playoffs?
Dangerous we want to be. We keep on attacking, day to day, just like we have the weeks past. The sky's the limit. I think we go as far as we want to go. We just have to keep our heads straight. We got to stay healthy, and we just got to keep on keeping our head down and to the plow.
Thank you, Myles. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So the Browns going to the playoffs just the 3rd time this century, fewest appearances in the NFL over that span. They were last in the playoffs in 2020, COVID, where they beat Pittsburgh in the wildcard round before eventually losing to Kansas City in the divisional round. Browns have been impressive in Cleveland, posting an 8-1 record this season. That's the most home wins in the NFL and the most for the Browns in franchise history. Bad news, though, they'll only have a chance to start the playoffs at home if the Ravens lose their remaining 2 games. Kevin Stefanski going to the playoffs for the 2nd time in his 4 years with the Browns. He's the first Cleveland head coach to lead the team to multiple playoff appearances since Marty Schottenheimer led them to 4 straight from 1985 to 1988. Some perspective here, they've had 11 head coaches start a season between Schottenheimer and Stefanski.
Do you also remember the old jersey with all the quarterbacks?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've had 4 this year, Damian Woody. I absolutely love the Joe Flacco story, though. Just this game alone, 19 of 29, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yes, there was a pick. But this dude was sitting on his couch, like in the middle of November. Now he's won 4 of 5 for the playoff-bound Browns. When you watch him play, what impresses you?
Yeah, Nicole, there's so many things. I love the way that Kevin Stefanski uses Joe Flacco, particularly under center and play action. Joe Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks as far as executing the play action fakes, and he's able to get huge chunks in the passing game. The one thing about Joe Flacco is he can threaten every area of the football field. That's one thing that we haven't really seen from any quarterback outside of Joe Flacco all year long. So when you play complementary football, you're able to run the football, and then you got a quarterback that can stretch the field and utilize those weapons. It's really, really impressive.
Flacco is obviously a fun story, but this is one that gets to continue because they are on to the playoffs. So if they're going to make a deep run and not just be the team that gets in, what do they need to do? Well,
Nicole, they got the formula. They got the best defense in the National Football League. Defense travels in the playoffs, so unless Baltimore implodes, they're going to be on the road, which is great. So we got Joe Flacco who's playing with a ton of confidence. Kevin Stefanski is really dialing all the right buttons as far as the offensive game plan. They got playmakers on offense. So this team can be very scary in a very uncertain AFC.
And remember, Joe Flacco was not signed with this team until November the 20th. The Browns are now the 3rd team to clinch a playoff berth in the AFC, and they have locked up a top 5 seed. They do have an outside chance of still winning the AFC North. Baltimore and Miami are the others with playoff spots, and they face each other this week. Now, obviously, if the Ravens win, they would lock up the 1 seed.
Well, speaking of the playoffs, the Chiefs can wrap up their 8th straight AFC West title with the win over the Bengals this weekend. And if that wasn't motivation enough, coupled with their recent struggles, of course, Cincinnati wideout Jamar Chase just added even more drama to this matchup by revealing everything the Chiefs don't have right now, especially on defense.
We know what we're capable of. Everyone in the league does. That's why Casey doubles the way they do.
What stands out about that secondary for the Chiefs?
If I'm being honest, nothing. They just know how to play us. They know the leverages. They know what splits we in. They just know what we gonna do, certain movements. They throw a little double-doubles at us to stop the two best players on the outside, and that's all they do. I mean, it's not really like they got a Jalen Ramsey on these squads, so you know what I'm saying? So, not much.
Okay, shade.
A little bit.
Chase had his way with the Chiefs so far in his career. Averaged 123 yards per game in his 4 games versus them, which is the 3rd highest average against a non-division opponent since he came in the league out of LSU. That includes a monster performance in Week 17 2 years ago. He had 266 receiving yards. So I can understand why he feels that way. New on SportsCenter, head coach Kevin Stefanski.
Okay, pretty special night for this organization. Pretty special night for the fans out there. They were ready to roll from the jump. They were huge tonight, huge all season long. So appreciate that from our crowd. With us through it all. And then organizationally, it's a big deal when you can clinch and make that and earn that second season. Obviously, we got a bunch of work to do, and we'll focus on that. But for the moment, proud of this football team, proud of those guys for battling through a bunch of adversity, both tonight and this season. But we'll finish strong next week, and then we'll see what comes. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, what did it mean to you to be able to clinch postseason appearance in front of these fans?
Yeah, I mean, last time we did it, there weren't that many out there. This is a special city. They love their brownies, as I'm reminded often. So to be able for them to savor in this and enjoy this, I think it's a big deal.
Kevin, what made that first half work so smoothly for you?
Good players making plays. I mean, they did a great job. There were big plays. I can think of some of Dave's plays in there, and Jerome obviously was incredible on that big one at the end. But Elijah, a bunch of guys making plays.
Talk about Joe again.
Ronnie Hickman making plays. Sorry, need to mention Ronnie. Sorry, go ahead, Fred.
Joe Flacco, 5 games, four in a row, 300 yards, and just lighting it up.
Yeah, I think you guys know. Just haven't watched Joe now, and we as coaches are getting to know Joe and that type of thing. But he battles like crazy. I think he's doing a nice job of playing within himself and playing within the scheme and all those type of things. But he's also making plays, and there were a bunch of plays that he made tonight that were key.
Back to Ronnie for a second. How critical was that intercept, that pick six, especially considering the start the defense had before that? Yeah,
that was incredible. The ball finds Ronnie Hickman. It's incredible. Out of practice, walk through, somehow the ball finds its way into his lap, and he does a great job. And scoring, it was a great play by a young man, and he's doing a nice job. We're going to continue to need these guys to step up.
You've been around. You mentioned all the adversity, and we don't have to go through it. We all
Thanks.
know what happened. But when did you know this team was going to make the playoffs?
I mean, you always going into every season, you feel like you have a good pulse of your team. It's a credit to Andrew and his crew. We have talented football players in this team. And we've had obviously our depth has been tested in different areas throughout the season. But I think it's a really strong roster. I think we have an unbelievable coaching staff that I get to work with every single day. So felt good about this team. Now, you don't know in this NFL, my God, there's things that happen you can't predict, not even you, Tony. So for us to just stay the course throughout this season, I'm proud of this team.
Kevin, what do you think it means? I mean, you've been around Joe for whatever, a month now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it means to him to be leading this ride, just given all the circumstances of his?
I mean, Joe's, I think, very, very excited to have his family here watching him. It's a special moment for them. Again, this is it's a great story. I know you guys love this story. But it's, I'm just happy for Joe. I'm happy for him having this success, being a part of a football team. He's got something left in the tank.
You mentioned how weird it was the first time you guys clinched when the stadium was not looking like this. How would you say your relationship with this fan base has evolved over your time here?
Yeah, I show up to work, do my job. They let you know when you're doing a good job. They let you know when you're not doing a good job. But I know this: they've been there every step of the way, and just measure it by how they are at home games. And we've been pretty good at home, and I think that's in no small part to our fans. They've been unbelievable. And then we go on the road, and they follow us on the road. So they're extremely supportive. we feed off of their energy, and it was electric tonight. That was an electric building from the jump.
Kevin, when Watson went down and had surgery, did you think this was possible?
Yeah, it's the greatest team sport there is, Tony. You hate to lose great players, and we lost some great players along the way. But go ask those guys; they tell you it's a team sport, and they have. I know this. Those guys that weren't with us tonight, they were with us tonight on the field. And they got our back, and we got theirs.